Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Naishtaki. Rudraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, titled as Explanation of Devotional Service. Kapila Dev is explaining to Mata Devhuti. Devhuti Mata is asking questions to Kapila Dev about bhakti. And these questions are for the benefit of everyone at large, all the humanity at large. In the previous verse, Mata Devhuti is asking to Kapila Dev that people in general are very much absorbed in materialistic way of life, and they're trapped into this repeated cycle of birth and death. So Devhuti Mata is asking Kapila Dev that please describe in detail this process of birth and death. This world is called samsara. Samsara means process of birth and death. So Mata Devhuti is asking Kapil Dev that please explain this process of birth and death. So by hearing this repeated process, maybe someone may get enlightened and get detached from the materialistic state of mind. Devhuti has already heard the Sankhya philosophy, the identification of 24 elements, how the body is composed of these 24 elements. Then there's about the soul, the super soul, the Paramatma, and the different types of bodies and living entities. So now Devhuti Mata wants to know more about bhakti. Time is an eternal representation of Krishna. So this time influences the people in general, and people are performing various material activities under the influence of time. And because of the influence of time, everybody is engaged in materialistic activities. So Mata Devhuti is explaining, is asking to Kapila Dev that Kalashyeva Rupasya Parisham cha Parashyaste Swarupam Bata Kurvanti Yad Deho Kushalam Janaha. So she is asking that people also please also describe eternal time, which is a representation of your form, by whose influence people in general engage in performance of pious activities. Further, Mata Devhuti now requesting Kapila Dev, Lokasya mithyabhimater achakshus kshiram prasupatyasya tamasi anashtraye shantasya karmava anuvidhaya dhiya tvam avirasha kila yoga bhashkaraha. My dear Lord, you are just like sun, for you illuminate the darkness of conditional life of all the living entities. Because their eyes of knowledge are not open, all these living entities are sleeping eternally in that darkness without your shelter. And therefore, they are falsely engaged by the actions and reactions of material activities. And they appear to be very fatigued. So Mata Devati is very compassionate, and she is asking Kapil Dev that all the living entities, they are covered with ignorance, and because of the ignorance their eyes are closed and they are sleeping eternally. Sleeping eternally means they have no idea what they are doing. They are just wasting their time without taking shelter of Lord Krishna. And they are falsely engaged in materialistic activities. And because of this, the people who are engaged in materialistic activities, they are falsely thinking and they are working very hard and they are very much tired or fatigued. So Mata Devhuti is asking Kapil Dev that please show them the light so that they wake up. And when they wake up, they engage in service of Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It appears that Srimati Devhuti, the glorious mother of Lord Kapila Dev, is very compassionate for the regrettable condition of the people in general, who, not knowing the goal of life, are sleeping in the darkness of illusion. Compassion is one of the most important quality of a devotee because it is the quality of Krishna. Krishna is very compassionate to all the living entities. Karuna Sindhu, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpate. So Krishna is so compassionate that all the living entities, they are engaged in so many sinful activities, but still Krishna forgives them. And being very compassionate, he provides them all the necessity supplies. So Mata Devhuti has the same quality as that of Lord Krishna, which is the compassion. So now a devotee acquires the quality of Krishna because devotee is in contact with Krishna. Devhuti Mata is in contact with Kapila Dev, who is incarnation of Krishna. So now Mata Devhuti is requesting Kapila Dev that this condition of all the living entities are regrettable because people do not know the goal of life, the purpose of life. People think that to live materialistic life is the goal of life, which is not so. And they are sleeping in the darkness of illusion. Everybody is dying under the illusion that they are this body. It is the general feeling of Vaishnava or devotee of Lord that he should awaken them. So it is the duty of a devotee. Like Srila Prabhupada came to America to awaken all of us, Western world, and he spread the message of Krishna consciousness just out of compassion. So to be compassionate is the quality of a devotee. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, like Lord Shiva, he's also a very nice devotee of Lord, and he takes the poison for the pleasure of devotees. So that is called compassion. So quality of a devotee is very compassionate. Even one may suffer, but he will not give up the quality of helping the conditioned souls. So that is the quality of a Vaishnava in general. So Devhuti Mata is asking Kapila Dev that can you please help all these living entities who are ignorant. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no time for Krishna consciousness. So somehow or other, shower your mercy upon them so that they can be awakened and they can join Krishna consciousness. Similarly, Devhuti is requesting his glorious son to illuminate the lives of conditioned souls so that their most regrettable conditioned life can be ended. This material life, which is of repeated birth and death, full of miseries. And the devotee's desire is that it should end this repeated cycle. The Lord is described herein as Yoga Bhaskara, the son of the system of all yoga. Devuti has already requested her glorious son to describe Bhakti Yoga, and the Lord has described Bhakti Yoga as the ultimate yoga system. In Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna says that Yoginam api sarvesham matagatenteratmana shraddhavan bhajata yo mam same yuktatmo mataha. So Bhakti Yoga, surrender to Krishna, is the ultimate yoga system. And Mata Dehuti wants to know what should the conditioned souls do that they can come out of repeated cycle of birth and death. Srila Prabhupada explains, Hare Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is the sun-like illumination for delivering conditioned souls, whose general condition is described here. So Bhakti is like a sun which gives the light, and it will deliver the conditioned souls who are trapped into the repeated cycle of birth and death. They have no eyes to see their own interest. They do not know that the goal of life is not to increase the material necessities of existence, because the body will not exist more than a few years. So Srila Prabhupada ji very nicely explaining that materialistic people, they are engaged in accumulating the wealth, but they do not know that this will not last for longer and it will finish one day. The living entities are eternal and they have their eternal need. If one engages only in caring for the necessities of body, not caring for the eternal necessities of life, then he is part of civilization whose advancement puts the living entity into the darkest region of ignorance. So people in general, they are engaged in bodily activities. They have no interest in spiritual life, and they are increasing by engaging in materialistic way of living. They are increasing their material life of repeated birth and death. So Mata Dehuti is very compassionate and is thinking that how can we relieve all these people from this repeated cycle of birth and death. Sri Prabhupada says, sleeping in the darkest region, one does not get any refreshment, but rather gradually becomes fatigued. He invents many processes to adjust this fatigue condition, but he fails and thus remains confused. The only path for mitigating this fatigue in the struggle for existence is path of devotional service or path of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada is saying that to get out of this repeated cycle of birth and death, one has to surrender to Krishna and take up the Krishna consciousness. So very nice shloka here in which Mata Devuti, very compassionate and seeing the conditioned state of living entities undergoing repeated birth and death, because the living entities are bound by mithya abhimati, false ego. They remain in tamas, and then under the tamaguna they are working hard. And what is the result of this working hard? They get frustrated and their intelligence is lost, fatigued. So what is the role of Krishna consciousness? So Krishna consciousness brings one to the platform of light, and it removes the darkness of ignorance. And Lord Krishna or Lord Kapiladev can suggest us the path of light, so path of knowledge, which is Krishna consciousness. So here in this shloka we can see the compassion of living entity, compassion of a devotee towards the conditioned living entity. So with that, we'll pause here and we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Randraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.